In the last few years, Mohammedan Muslims have been conducting a reign of terror all over the world by the use of human suicide bombers to try and achieve their goal of Islamizing the world. The so-called shaheeds, martyrs, have been promised by their mullahs, or so-called religious leaders, that they would end up in Muhammad's version of paradise, with sexual, sensual, and carnal pleasures for eternity. Does the Quran sanction suicide? Are these promises factual? Please elaborate on this.
It is of vital importance to first understand the actual meaning of words. For example, in the Quran and Hadiths, a martyr or shaheed is one who dies in battle against an armed enemy, in combat, and definitely not as a suicider against civilian targets. Although the Quran in fact is full of references to superb pleasures of the flesh, both male and female, of unlimited drinking of wine and all types of food, and so on and so forth, for the shaheeds or the martyrs, it also clearly prohibits committing suicide by any manner or any means. Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, 195. And spend of your substance in the cause of Allah, and make not your own hands contribute to your destruction. An-Nisa, chapter 4, 29. O ye who believe, eat not up your property among yourselves in vanities, but let there be amongst you traffic and trade by mutual goodwill. Nor kill or destroy yourselves. وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. For verily Allah hath been to you most merciful. The ahadith also prove that Muhammad considered committing suicide a cardinal sin. Despite the Quran's and Muhammad's prohibitions, Muhammadan scholars are justifying acts of wanton murder by suicide bombings and hijackings as true to Islam. They promise those martyrs unlimited pleasures of the flesh with 72 beautiful virgins in paradise. Sahih al-Bukhari Hadith 2.445, narrated by Thabit bin ad-Dahhak. The Prophet said, whoever commits suicide with a piece of iron will be punished with the same piece of iron in the hellfires. Narrated Jundab, the Prophet said, a man was inflicted with wounds and he committed suicide. And so Allah said, my slave has caused death on himself, hurriedly, so I forbid paradise for him. Sahih al-Bukhari Hadith 2.446, narrated by Abu Huraira. The Prophet said, he who commits suicide by throttling shall keep on throttling himself in the hellfire forever. And he who commits suicide by stabbing himself shall keep on stabbing himself in the hellfire. Sahih al-Bukhari Hadith 8.73, 8.126 and 8.647, narrated by Thabit bin ad-Dahhak. And if somebody commits suicide with anything in this world, he will be tortured with that very thing on the day of resurrection. Hadith Qudsi Hadith 28. There was amongst those before you a man who had a wound. He was in such anguish that he took a knife and made with it a cut in his hand, and the blood did not cease to flow till he died. Allah the Almighty said, my servant has himself foretold me, I have forbidden him paradise. It is obvious from all of the above that the modern suicide bombers among the Mohammedans have been deliberately and maliciously brainwashed by so-called Quranic teachers who have a very political and not a spiritual agenda to fulfill, into believing that they will go to paradise with unlimited pleasures with 72 virgins. It is crystal clear from the above Quran and Hadith verses that martyrdom requires dying or getting killed in battle and not by committing suicide. If only these would-be suiciders actually realized that they will end up in hell, blowing themselves up repeatedly till the last days, none of them would have committed these insane and depraved acts.